Hi friends, how are you? It's a beautiful day in the garden and it's not going to get too hot. So I thought it would be a great time to walk you around and show you some of the beautiful things that are blooming in my summer garden. But before that, I want to show you something that Mark built. He has just been handyman extraordinaire these days. So I'm really into bees. You might have noticed that I kind of have a bee theme in and around the garden and in my home, and it's just something I really like. I actually might like to keep bees one day in the future. It's always on my mind. So in my perusing a few years ago online on Etsy, I found it was a bee skep style storage box just for like little garden tools and things like that. And I saved it and I didn't really think too much about it. But since Mark has been doing a lot of woodworking lately, it kind of resurfaced and I thought, well, maybe he could build this really adorable bee skep storage box, and he did. He's been working on it for the past couple weekends here and there, and it's finished and it's beautiful and I love it. The one that I saw on Etsy was based out of the UK, which is one of the reasons I didn't order it because, well, first of all, it wouldn't ship to the US, and if it did, it probably would have been extraordinarily expensive. I also saw a variation where they've built these as like a little compost storage, which I thought that was kind of clever too. But let me walk you back and show you because I'm in love with this. And I just think it is the most charming and functional piece. I just love it so much. So let's go look at it. Look at my cone flowers. Okay, look. Oh my gosh, I love it, you guys. Is this not the cutest and functional, because that's important, little, I don't know, just little element in the garden. I just love it. I have some little plants next to it right now because I want to landscape all around here. I've been getting mulch in and I'm really starting to build up this area. The whole gate and little arbor area that he made has really made me focus on this as more than just an empty space, and now I feel so motivated. But anyway, back to this tremendous bee skep storage box. He just did such a job. Oh, what kind of a bug is, oh, was that a bee? What was that? I don't know what that was. Anyway, here it is. Speaking of bees and other vermin that could fit in tiny holes like that, you can see we have a little screen on there to just block the hole because, yeah, we don't want things going inside of here. This is perfect for the veggie garden. I'm able to store little bags of my fertilizers. Well, let me just open it up and show you instead of talking about what's in it. Ta-da! I just love it. And it's cedar, so it has a wonderful, that wonderful cedar smell. It's going to last forever. I just love it. I've got my Espoma organic tones in here. I have bone meal that I plant my dahlia tubers with. I like to use that. And then berry tone and citrus tone for some of the things I have in the vegetable garden. Some liquid fertilizer, some hose link accessories, some little shovels, gloves, and a kneeler, because honestly, sometimes if things are like tossed in the shed or somewhere else, I will not use them. And I feel like with this handy dandy and adorable storage box here, I will now be more inclined to save my knees and my hands and all of that. So I just want to, before I walk around, show you this because I think it is so clever and just beautiful, and I love it. And it just ties in perfectly with my garden design and the style that I like. It's amazing. He is just too good, you guys. What could I say? I love him. He's great. He's the best. And not just the best because he builds stuff. He's the best because he's the best. He is a good man and kind-hearted and a great father. And I did a really good job in marrying Mark. So there's that. Okay, this is my potato bed. It's sad. Let's not look at that. It's sad because they're all flopped over and they need to be picked. The snapdragons, which I sort of started to show you in the last video, are just exploding now. They are just absolutely magnificent. I've never grown snapdragons successfully in the sense that they never really abundantly produced. I don't know what was really the mishap on my end, but now I feel like I've got it. And also, I didn't even grow these. They just self-seeded. So that's fantastic. I'm going to just let the seeds drop on most of these and hope it does it again, honestly. So we have just all the colors in here. I have them in this bed too over here, and they're really starting to, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I've got my cucumber in here. You can see it's already starting to cuke. Okay, let me show you these. This is Profusion Double White Zinnias. This is one of my favorite zinnias. You've heard me talk about these before. I'll pick this one off because I love to deadhead, and I'm a control freak in deadheading my plants. But anyway, this is one plant. It stays nice and short and compact and just full and beautiful. So I plant these from seed under grow lights every year. You could direct sow these, but I sow them under grow lights because I always want a bunch of them, and I want to make sure that I have them. I do, to protect from, if I have any critters in here or anything messing around, I'll have some extras, and I have plenty on hand because this really is one of my favorite zinnias to grow. So you'll see I have these kind of scattered all about. The Echinacea, which I just walked past to show you, it's just beautiful. I mean, this is just a fantastic native plant. And I will say that this variety, the taller cone flower, I have much more success with than some of the hybrids and the fluffy doubles and all those things. I'm going to grab my coffee. Hold on. First, before coffee, let's take a moment to enjoy our little bee friends here. I turned off the AC just now so you wouldn't have that buzzing in your ears while I'm walking around. It's a beautiful day. Look at this. Couldn't ask for a better day. So I have a table of plants still from the last week when I shared a video with you. I'm going to address this today because Mark is home. Hold on. I need caffeine in my sweet pea mug that Mark got for me. This is Emma Bridgewater, my favorite. But he is home today, so that's going to give me an opportunity to the plan is to get all these plants in the ground. So that's what I hope to do. Since I'm now over here, I may as well show you a few things that I find particularly beautiful. So this is a bee balm that I have had in this garden for 3 years, and it has not put out a single bloom until this year. Why that is, I can't begin to tell you, but I'm so glad it finally decided to show up to the party here because this is beautiful. So this is called Judith's Fancy Fuchsia. I left the tag there because I thought it was just so pretty. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. And then, of course, Verbina bonariensis. This one self-seeds here. This is that tall liatris that will be white. And you can see it's still going. This thing gets very, very tall. Then, of course, I have just, Echinacea everywhere. This one is Magnus, and then I've got more of the purpurea along the back. It's a bit shaded here now that the crepe myrtles have leafed out, and they're getting bigger, but they still do good. And, unless I see them struggle, I'm going to leave them there because I always see pollinators on them. Love to have the natives here. And here's a bloom from the crepe myrtle. Look how pretty. I always get lots of questions about what this is. It's a Natchez white crepe myrtle. It's very, very pretty. And I have 3 of them along the fence. The one on the end there is a little smaller because it was kind of shrouded out by my neighbor's tree. But they allowed us to clip some branches, so hopefully it'll catch up soon. I've got some Nicotiana coming into bloom. This one is called Watercolors. And it's the first year I'm growing this one in my garden. I do have some other ones that are self-seeded from other years over this way. Let's see here. Some coming up that just dropped seed from previous years. And then look at the bark. Isn't it so pretty? The bark on the crepe myrtles is so pretty too. That's one of the reasons I picked it. I love things that have multi-interest, not just blooms, but the form and other things that are pretty to look at in the wintertime. These sun patiens are just incredible. They're so pretty. They are so pretty. I will plant these in my garden beds over petunias really any day. I don't love to plant petunias in my garden beds. They just don't do well for me. They're much better in window boxes or hanging baskets for me. And then this is a lovely native. This is American Dream tick seed, and it does really spread. Easy to pull out. I have moved this all around the garden, but it is very, very pretty and a wonderful native. This is Lavender Bubbles allium, which is probably my favorite of the short alliums. I have Millennium 2, which I really quite like, but this one takes a while to bloom, and it has very sturdy stems, and I like that it takes a while to bloom because I actually like the way the little bloom heads look before they even pop open. So I feel like you get a prolonged bloom from those, and I really, really like them. My bird bath is dirty, so don't look at that. I will be cleaning that. This whole area is just looking quite lush right now. I've got, oh my goodness, I'm noticing it. Oh, you're going to hear my excitement for the first time. I've been looking every day. My Lauren's Grape Poppy just popped. Yay! Oh, I'm so happy. I planted some Lauren's Grape Poppies this year, and right in the front of this little patch, and there's a little bud on that one, and I am so happy to see them. I just hope they self-seed everywhere, and I would just love to have a big lush poppy patch right here. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Yay! Look at that. Is that not amazing? Nature is amazing. I love it. I just real quick grabbed a little bamboo stake to prop that one up. I was futzing around in here the other day pulling some weeds, and I kind of sort of stepped on that one, and then I felt my soul left my body a little bit. So I just braced that one up there real quick. I have some purple blazing star liatris here that is coming into bloom, and I love the seed heads of the ambassador allium. Whole bunch mix of things in here. I am planting, which I am so happy to, some hydrangeas in this space. This space has been empty and sad for so long, so I just bought some Endless Summer. This is Summer Crush. I have been crushing on those and seeing those in a lot of videos, so I think they'll be perfect here. It's just the right amount of sun and shade. These don't want to be in like scorching afternoon sun. So I've got 3 of them, and I'm going to do a little swoop around the fountain here. And speaking of great plants for your garden beds, this is a Verbina. Sorry, I think this one is, oh, what kind is this? I don't have, did I keep the tag? I don't think I did. Not sure, but it's a Verbina. And, oh, that's a bit crispy. You don't have to deadhead these or do anything, but they work great and they fill in great. If you did shear them back, they will bush out if they're looking a little scraggly. But I'll be working on this. So this is a work in progress. I've got a whole bunch of Cat's Pajamas Nepeta here that I transplanted. So I transplanted it, I cut it back pretty hard, and we've had hot days. So it's not entirely happy right now, but it is making a comeback. And then, of course, Geranium Roseanne tucked in all around, but this area is just looking so good right now to me. And then I have this all over the garden too. Kent Beauty Oregano, so beautiful. That's an ornamental oregano. There's more of that Profusion White. These are some Floss Flower that I grew under grow lights. I don't think it's supposed to get this tall. I've never grown it from seed, but I had it in a more shady area, and I think it kind of started to stretch. I did chop it back, hoping maybe I could kind of reduce the size a bit, but maybe that's the habit of this particular one. I don't know, but I like it either way, and it's pretty. Then I've got some Veronica, and this is Coral Cream Drop. Phlox, sorry, trying to remember all the names of all the things. And there's one that's more open on the other side. I'll show you that. And then, of course, Campanula. Beautiful. This is one of my favorites. Looks like little teacups. feverfew that has self-seeded right here. Got to keep an eye on that if you grow it. A random liatris. I really kind of just threw a bunch of random things in here, if I'm being honest, that I didn't know where to plant them after I grew them from seed. So that's kind of what's going on here. A lot of self-seeders. There's more feverfew. Here's that coral cream drop that is more fully open and just absolutely delicious looking, and more of that campanula. This is Lavaterra Pink Regis, which is, it's just breathtakingly gorgeous. I mean, look at this. And you know, I go along here and I just get, I can't even explain my excitement, my elation in some of the things when I discover them and I see them blooming. It's amazing. I grew that one, when I first really started a lot with sowing seeds about 5 years ago, when I had the raised beds over here, if you were following me then, and it's just an absolutely beautiful plant. I have one back here coming up too. It's is it in the hibiscus? It's in the hibiscus family, of course. Rose mallow. Beautiful. And then shout out to this beautiful Buddleia. It's a butterfly candy, little lavender. I always want to say little lilac, but it's little lavender. I know it can be controversial with the butterfly bushes. This one is at its max size, so it's about 3 feet tall right now. It's not going to get taller than this. And I chopped this one back like within, you know, to a foot. So this is all flushed out new growth for this year. No, it isn't a native, but it does draw a bunch of pollinators. It is sterile for the most part. I've not had any problems with it self-seeding or anything like that. But for every, you know, couple butterfly bushes I have a ton of native echinacea. So I think it's all about balance, and you can have a happy flow with native and non-native as long as you aren't planting things that are invasive. No invasives. These can be invasive depending on where you live and the variety. This is not here. You're good to go with the butterfly candy. Nice and petite, and the pollinators do enjoy it. One of the best decisions ever, planting the rosemary here. You can smell it every time you walk by. I touch it. Oh, it's just beautiful. Not to mention, I have cooked with it. I cut little trimmings off and I throw it in with my chicken and things. So it's just amazing to have ornamental beauty and edible like that. It's just amazing. So this area is really filling in a lot now. It's got my Moonbeam Coropsis tick seed. There's some controversy on this. I've had other people send me some videos asking me what theirs is. So this is Moonbeam. Moonbeam is a lighter, paler yellow and has kind of rounded petals. And then there's another yellow one that's a darker yellow, and that's probably Zagreb, if I'm saying that correctly. It's such a weird name. And it's also a wonderful plant, but that has a different growth habit. It's more spreading, like the American Dream, like the pink one I showed you over there. It's more spreading like that. This is more clump forming, and both great natives. So I would say if you want something a little more clump forming, go for the Moonbeam. I actually favor this one. If you want something that's a little bit more spready, go for the Zagreb. What a weird name. Okay, so here's more super tall Floss Flower. It's in my little pot here, my container here, and I like it here. I like it kind of wild in this capacity. So yeah, and those salmon geraniums I grew from seed, and I think I mentioned, here I am patting myself on the back, I also grew the Floss Flower from seed. So this is all self-seed for me, under grow lights, and then of course wire vine. I did not grow that from seed, but it's so pretty. I love this little moment here in the garden. Now I've got a whole bunch of different big leaf hydrangeas in the back behind it. Those are going to get huge. So eventually I'll probably be moving this container, and the hydrangeas will be the highlight. I have some delphinium to plant. I'm such a sucker for delphinium. If I ever figure out how to keep it alive in my garden, I will spill all the tea and share all the secrets with you. But for now, every year I buy a few new plants and they never ever make it. So if you have tips on how to keep delphinium going, I am all ears because I love this plant and I can never ever keep it going. I did just plant some flowerful hydrangeas. So that's those, and they are budded up. This is an Annabelle. It's an Annabelle Hydrangea, which you guys know can be known for heavy blooms and flopping, things like that. This is a new and improved variety from First Edition Shrubs and Trees, and I'm anxious to see it. So far, we've had some serious storms, and I know it's not in bloom right now, but the stems have remained really strong, even during the storms, where I can say some of my others, even when they're not in bloom, their branches will start to flop. Now, I got 3 of these, and I ordered these directly from First Edition Shrubs and Trees website. And when they came absolutely beautiful. This is what they look like when I took them out of the boxes. And but since then they have started to put on the buds. But just absolutely gorgeous, really nice green foliage. I haven't had any problems. I've got 3 of them here. I think I already said that. Then I've got lamb's ear. This area is a bit of a mess. It's a work in progress. I had a ton of these encore azaleas in this bed earlier in the season, if you saw some of my earlier videos. And while I liked the look of it, I started to feel like I was boxing myself into that whole, straight row of soldiers again, which I don't like. I want it to be a little bit more natural and a little bit more free. So I kept one here for spring and fall interest because those will bloom in spring and fall. And I feel like that's needed because these Annabelles won't be in bloom. I have a peony here that'll be in bloom. So I'm trying to incorporate more things that'll bloom at different times in the season. You'll have to excuse all the rocks and gravel in here. It's just the way it is. And I didn't get any mulch in here as of yet. But we also have a rose. I wanted to incorporate a rose in this space as a focal point. All surrounded by, that is a Vanessa Bell, by the way, Vanessa Bell. And then I've got geranium roseanne and a bunch of nepeta around it. And then here's this third flowerful hydrangea. I'm very impressed with it. I've grown a bunch of Annabelles. Up until recently, Limetta was my favorite. I don't like to play favorites with my plants because I love them all so much. So I'll talk quietly because Limetta is behind me. But so far, after having grown that variety for a while, I'm leaning towards liking this variety better. So we'll see how they hold up. I have a feeling they're going to be similar, but this one is already proving to be sturdier. So we'll see. Got a bunch of heucheras. I believe that this is, so I grow 2 purpley types, Primo Wild Rose and then Wildberry. I think this is Wildberry, I think. Don't hold me to that. And then we have a Boowbo Hydrangea back here that is just putting out its buds. Blooms, I should say. And then I've got, I'll show you another one on the other side. This is Indigo Frost Agapanthus. And I absolutely love it. I have to pause every now and again to refocus my thoughts because I can't focus on what I'm, you know what I mean? There's like so many plants and I see so many things that I want to talk about that I can't stop myself. Okay, I'm in a really despicable, weedy area of my garden and I have to show you. This is on my to-do list, but so every year I plant Suncredible sunflowers from Proven Winners. I love them. They're my favorite. They're gorgeous. They branch out. They're beautiful. And they stay nice and short. You don't have to deadhead them. You don't have to do anything. Well, I planted just one here last year. And it gets huge, like I said, and it filled out this whole space. Well, I left it up because I told you I leave these things up for the wildlife over winter. It must have dropped seeds. It has created some kind of a hybrid version of itself because it doesn't look like the original plant. And you can see that they are all over the place here. I can't explain it. I assumed that was a sterile sunflower because I know they don't play like that at Proven Winners. But these are here, and this is where I had the sunflower planted. So unless coincidentally some birds came along and pooped out these sunflowers, I don't know what else to say. I've got another one coming in here, and I'm just loving it. I want them to do that for the rest of my life. If they could do that, I would be thrilled. Grow, cure, please. I want them. And then those are all self-seeded Rudbeckia from my neighbor's beautiful garden. I just let those seeds blow over here, and they grow all over. But this area needs work. Now, I think this is a Boowbo. It has all the characteristics of a Boowbo, and it's absolutely beautiful, but I don't think it was labeled Boowbo when I planted it here, and I can't for the love of God remember what it was. So I'm just going to call it a Boowbo, and I'm just going to love it the same. So this is Sapphire Indigo clematis. This is a non-vining clematis, and it is really one of my absolute favorites. I've had this one and the one on the other side of the fence for about 5 years now. It's a stunner, and it blooms pretty much nonstop. So I did just order 3 more of those. And I have them planted on each of my obelisks because even if it's non-vining, it can still kind of lean. I can tether it up so that way there's always something in bloom. So I kind of combined it with other vining clematis on my obelisks, and I love it. So this is a limetta, by the way. She is looking good, but she's also a little sad, and that's because I transplanted it this season, and it was really on the struggle bus because I dug it out and I kept it in a nursery can, and I kept meaning to plant it, and I never did. And so therefore I am blessed that she even decided to bloom for me this year. So we'll look at her next year, and we won't judge. So I need to take pause and show you my beautiful urn. I don't know if I've shown you guys. Maybe. I'm on Instagram and I talk a lot. So if you're on Instagram, follow me over there because I do come on there every day and talk about plants. But this is my favorite geranium. This is Apple Blossom Rosebud, I believe is the name. And it's stunning. I ordered these as starts in early spring, and they are just popping all over. Look at how beautiful these are. Like little cabbage rose clusters. Just so, so, so gorgeous. And just that and wire vine. I mean, what more could you possibly need? Nothing. That's how much. So these are the agapanthus in full bloom. Look at these. They're just like fun sparklers. They look like alliums a bit. I just love them so much. I'll tell you what I don't love. My window box. My window box this year is pathetic. I don't know why. It just never took off. I have sun patience in there. I don't know. I didn't swap out the soil this year, so maybe there's something up with the soil. The wire vines look great. I need to trim this rose cane that flopped over in the rain the other day, but I'm going to pull those and I'm going to put something else in there because it's depressing me. So I'm probably going to put something else in there. I'll leave the wire vines and I'll get rid of the sun patience in there. You know what I'll do? I'll probably take the sun patience out and put them in the landscape. It's not particularly shady here most of the day, so it's not a shade thing, even though it looks shaded right now, but we'll see. I'll put them somewhere else. Oh, and then I did want to mention, so I've got these dogwoods here in these pots. I'm not loving it. I just put them there this year. I'm going to plant the dogwoods. These are more columnar dogwoods. I think they're called Snow Tower or Ivory Tower, something tower. I'm going to plant them elsewhere, probably along this fence somewhere, to be honest, because it gets, they're great understory trees and they've got other dogwoods above them. But what I did do was order a couple Oakleaf Hydrangeas. So I'm going to put an Oakleaf Hydrangea, not in a container, planted right in the center on this side and this side. And I think that will tie everything together and look great. And I love the Oakleaf Hydrangeas, and I only have one, and it's behind the greenhouse, and it is struggling a bit. I think it might be getting too much sun in the area that it's at, even though it's under my October Glory maple. I think it's still getting too much sun during a particular hot part of the day because it's not looking too happy. This is going to be a perfect sun situation for it. So I have that on my to-do list to plant as well. Oh, and then, gosh, it's like musical arbors over here, you guys. You guys have seen me talk about this stinking arbor so many times. So we have this arbor over here, and I was kind of going back and forth. Do I keep it here? Do I keep it there? Do I blah, blah, blah? And finally I said, just get another stinking arbor. So we have 2 matching arbors here now. And I planted Eden Rose here because I love Eden Rose, 1 on each side. Ta-da! I think it's gonna help me with this awkward area. The bunnies were definitely trying to eat my Kew Garden roses the other day, and I've got 3 of them here, so I have them covered with cloches right now, but I feel like those plus some other little annuals and things in here will really spruce this space up. And the height here I feel was really needed because I've got a pretty flat yard here. I don't have any terracing or, you know, like stones or little walls or anything like that up. So having the height here helped. It helps, and it kind of frames, it'll frame the moment with the flower pot, and when the hydrangeas get large, you know, it'll frame all that and look really pretty. So I'm not as irritated with this space as I was since I put an arbor here, and I knew I was never going to be happy unless I put that back. So that's all. That's my garden update. Hey, thank you guys so much for the absolutely amazing engagement on my last video where I showed you the gate and the arbor and everything that Mark built. We really appreciate it, and all the wonderful comments too. So thank you for that. You know, seeing that makes me feel more motivated to get out and make more videos when I can. Mark is home, like I said, so I thought now would be a great time to come out, and I love to talk with you guys. Real quick before we sign off, here are my burpee zinnias, looking so gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And this is that Suncredible sunflower I was telling you about, by the way. I grow these every single year. So the ones in the little driveway garden that I just showed you are either a spawn from this, even though I thought that this was a sterile plant, or I don't know what. And then lastly, let's look at these. So this is the dahlias that I grew from seed. The ants have been all up in the centers on these. It's pretty funny. And then here's another one. It's just starting to open. The center hasn't even furled out yet. It's all kind of just opening up. And then again, the zinnias. And it's so pretty. So pretty. And creme de cassis dahlia. I could just talk all day. All right. I'm going to sign off now. I hope everybody's doing wonderful. I hope you're all enjoying your gardens. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.